All right, so welcome everybody. I can't really see you. I'm pretending that I can see you, but I can't really see you, right? We know it's very late. We do apologize, but I think all our schools are here. And I'm thankful for the fact that you're here and the effort that you took to get here, right? I think we'll have to make one little small adjustment to our judging panel, but we're ready to go. So, formally, everybody, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to our Talk the Poem National Poetry Recitation final event. It has been 3 months. Yes, man, you must woo down the place. Come on. It has been a tremendous experience for the past, I think, in total about 3 months, right? For the teachers, for the schools, for the students, for us, it has been, oh, that's wonderful. Welcoming Professor Emeritus Mervyn Morris. That's great. We're happy. Right, so it has been a tremendous experience, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to hurry this through so we can catch up back on the time, which we can. But just the level of performances and the quality of the performances that have just climbed each year. This is our 3rd year, right, that we've been in operations, and the students have come back better each time. I'm talking about new students to this, I'm talking about old-time performers, right? And we've seen some, in fact, I'm going to say to you that this year we had to introduce, we usually have our 2 wildcards. This year we had to introduce 2 additional wildcards, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But we had to do that because of the ties. We had some serious issues with ties. And of course, if we introduce it in one county, then we had to introduce it in all other counties to be fair to all participants, right? So, welcome. So we really engaged with the students and the poems and the teachers, and it really has been a tremendously wonderful experience. Okay, so I want to welcome, I want to big up, I want to say congrats before you even start to all the 21 finalists that are here today. Let's give it up. Without further ado, I'm going to ask Ms. Nadine Valentine to come and pray, and then we'll have a section of greetings from our registrar, the Dean of our Faculty of Humanities and Education, and our director, all of whom have been extremely supportive of this effort.
Thank you, Dr. Spencer. May I invite you to bow your heads reverently for prayer. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity once again. We're so grateful for the way that you have been with us for the past couple of months and for the past 2 years. Lord, we thank you for the things that you have put in place, the support, just making sure everything is okay. We just give you thanks. At this time, we want to put before you the students and the judges and the teachers, and Lord, I ask in a special way that you be with them. Bless our efforts and may the proceedings go well, we ask in Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we welcome on stage this morning our campus registrar, Dr. Camille Bell Hutchinson. Please welcome her.
Thank you. Good morning. Oh, you're right. You can't see anybody. Okay, so I pretend I'm seeing each of you in your eye, and you pretend that you're looking me in my eye as well. Good morning to you. I want to just say Dean Warry Boko, our director of the school, Professor Disraeli Hutton. Want to recognize Professor Emeritus, I don't know where you went, Professor Emeritus Mervyn Morris. I'm sure I saw, there you are. Is that, where is he? I don't know. Okay, there you are. Good. I see my good friend Velma Pollard, who was one of my mentors when I was a new member of staff in the Faculty of Education at the time. I'm sure I saw Professor Beverly Brand somewhere as well. Are you there? Oh, okay, you notice I can't see. Okay, so I want to welcome you all very much this morning. Oh my goodness, what did they just do? And I think I also must recognize a special group we have this morning from the University of Cambridge, who are now engaged in a collaborative effort with the Talk of the Poem team. Could you stand, and they will see you, I'm sure. Could we just stand and let us hear it for our team from the University of Cambridge? And I am told told that the poem emerged from Poetry by Heart. Am I correct? Yes? A spoken word competition in the UK in which this group is involved, and I think Dr. Spencer got involved with this through this group. But we also have to have a special recognition, I understand, from our former director of the Commonwealth Education Trust. And her husband, could we see you please? Could you stand? Thank you so much. And your husband can stand as well too. Your husbands are important. Please stand, husband. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but we welcome you to Jamaica. I don't know if it's your first time. And we certainly welcome you to the premier institution in the region, the University of the West Indies. So I was asked to bring reasons. I think they gave me 5 minutes, but then they gave me a big topic. They asked me to talk a little bit about the value we place on community projects. So I just want to say a little bit about the talk of the, I keep saying talk of the town because there is a talk of the town at the Pegasus Hotel. And every time I say talk, I end up with saying talk of the town, but it's talk the poem. Talk the poem is such an important community project, and it is underpinned by a belief that poetry is accessible to all. And the organizers of this project, I went on the website, I had to do homework, and I was intrigued by one of the things it said. It said, many students in our Jamaican high schools have various fears about poetry. Likewise, many teachers prefer to have minimal contact with the genre, usually as a result of their own negative pedagogical experiences with poetry while in school. And it speaks about research suggesting that personal connection with poems is vital if students are to learn how to read, interpret, and respond to poetry, not just as an abstraction, but as something real and living. And through participation in this competition, students will not simply hear about poetry, but will be actively involved in their own experience of the poem as they read, interpret, memorize, and then recite it. This resonated with me. Why? Because as a young student, poetry was just something we had to just learn to recite and memorize. I thought it was just testing my memory skills anyway. It was so abstract, it had no meaning. I kind of liked some of them, why do we have to do this? And I remembered, as I read this particularly, a poem I learned, which was the one which resonated. Now, I couldn't tell you why it resonated more than it gave me an imagery that I liked. It was an image of flowers. It was The Daffodils by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And I've never forgotten this poem. It talks about, I wandered lonely as a crowd that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. And for some reason, it resonated with me. But guess what? I had never seen a daffodil. I didn't know what a daffodil. I imagined it. I saw pictures of it. And the poem came alive when I moved to live in England. And we were driving one day, and there was this host of golden daffodils. And immediately, the poem had new meaning. And I think this is one of the things that we're trying to do with the Talk the Poem competition. But again, coming back to what I was asked to do, it's very pleasing that through this community kind of outreach, it has impacted over 60 teachers and over 120 students in the short time that it has been happening. And important, yes, thank you, Dean, thank you, let's hear it, 120 students. Importantly, last year's winner, Fitzroy Randall, is Fitzroy here? Yeah. Where are you, Fitzroy? Stand up, up. Fitzroy Randall, who was the winner last year from Irving High School, has been offered a place at CARIMAC, the Caribbean School of Media and Journalism, here at Mona. Yeah. Fitzroy is going to pursue a degree in journalism, and guess what? He is a beneficiary of a scholarship from the University of the West Indies, Mona, to cover his tuition. So I think we should hear it for Fitzroy. Now, we at Mona see community projects as critical to our work and critical in achieving our mission, which is to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation for the positive transformation of the Caribbean people. And you are the Caribbean people. And so this project certainly supports the positive transformation. We value community projects so importantly that there are just two I'm going to quickly tell you about. Our UWI Community Film Project. And this project started in 2011 for the Greater Augustown region. And those who are not familiar with Jamaica, Augustown is one of the less developed area in our community. And we wanted to attract the young people there. A large number of them were unemployed, they were into crime, and we wanted to impact the community. And this idea gave birth as an experiment in 2012, where the center provided 5 days of training for these young people in the community in the basics of film making and production. And with the help of our community leaders, at that time, 9 young people from the area were trained with the help of these instructors, and 5 of these students completed the program. The students in 2 separate groups produced 2 films, all on their own, at the end of the course. One was a documentary, Augustown Tells a Story, which was excellent, and the other was a short film. And the project has now expanded into what we call the GATFest, the Greater Augustown Film Festival. It now involves Mona Commons, Nannyville, Portland Cottage in Clarendon, Trenchtown, Jonestown in Kingston, and Canterbury, Norwood, and Flankers in Montego Bay. You need to clap that project. Over 200 students from over 12 communities have now graduated from the program. Many of them have started their own businesses in the audiovisual sector, and about 20% of them who interned in various of the media houses have now been employed by those media houses. Let's hear it again. And the project has been endorsed and supported by both the British and American embassies in Jamaica. And the last one is the Mona Social Services. Again, it's a township outreach project. It started with Augustown, because Augustown, for those who are unfamiliar, are just next door to us. We actually are on the border with Augustown and the university. This started in 2006, and it has made such significant progress. We have upgraded the early childhood education there. We renovated 8 basic schools at a cost of $1.6 million. 9 students have benefited from scholarships right here at the University of the West Indies for about $2.3 million. And skills training has been part of it. We have provided over 150 students general construction, housekeeping, data processing, business development training to 85 youth currently. Several other training workshops have been held. And importantly, we are now doing a project which looks at the relationship in Mona Commons. And this is what we call a kitchen gardening project. And it's trying to look at the relationship between the achievement of students and nutrition. And this project is based on a kitchen or backyard gardening. And so many students, 8 basic schools across 5 communities are involved. And so we're very pleased with the projects we're doing. So community, yes. Mona supports community projects because we see this as part of the overall development of our youth and therefore the development of our nation. So as I close, it is my pleasure again to be here. I'm sorry I won't be able to stay throughout the entire morning to hear all the exciting presentations, but it is certainly my pleasure once again on behalf of the principal of the campus, Professor Archibald MacDonald, to announce that once again, the University of the West Indies, Mona, will support this competition by offering a scholarship to the winner of this morning's competition to pursue and that scholarship, we're being very, very, very clear here that this scholarship is to pursue a program, an undergraduate program in the Faculty of Humanities and Education only. And $200,000 to support that student with additional maintenance expenses. So colleagues, teachers, thank you. We look forward to the outcome of this competition. I wish I could say, could you all win? Well, you can't all win, but I know for you to have reached here, you have done so well, so clap yourselves, as Ms. Lou would say. We are delighted to be here. We're delighted to be part of this venture. We look towards the coming days when we hear the outcomes of the discussions with our Cambridge colleagues to see where we're going to go with this and other initiatives. And we wish for you an exciting day and may the best man win, or woman. Thank you so much. Good luck to all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bell Hutchinson. And now, without further ado, we call on the stage Professor Waibinte Wariboka, the Dean for the Faculty of Humanities and Education here at UWI.
Thank you, Aisha. Good morning, students. Good morning, teachers from the competing schools. I want to very formally and heartily welcome, I would say, our colleagues from the UK. Your presence here is an indication of how this project has grown in leaps and in bounds. I welcome you very heartily to the Mona campus and to the Faculty of Humanities and Education in particular. I'd like to welcome our retired professors who laid the foundation that made it possible for this whole project to flourish in the way we now know today. As Dean of the faculty, nothing could be more pleasing to hear all of the things that the registrar just said about how willing the campus has been and will be in supporting this project. Thank you, Registrar, for bringing fine tidings. I want to also say what I know I said last year. On the same platform. It was clear to me after I had participated in a similar circumstance twice that this activity, this project, was going to be one avenue available to the faculty for indicating to younger ones how relevant the humanities and education-related disciplines have been and will be. It was clear to me that Aisha had a purpose. It was also clear to me that if the faculty embraced it and allowed her to pursue her vision, we could make an impact on the younger ones, and by making an impact on the younger ones, make an impact on the nation as a whole, in a way that was going to be comparable to the film project that the registrar had mentioned. So Aisha, thank you very much for your vision, and thank you for everything that you've been doing. But I also know that Aisha worked with, and has been working with, her colleagues in the School of Education. It must take a great deal of coordinating, a great deal of administrative skill to put this kind of thing together. And so I also like to thank, on behalf of the faculty, all those who've worked with you so assiduously over the years to make this program grow and to make all of us proud. I just would like to end by saying that the faculty remains committed in whichever form Aisha wants us to do to ensure that this program grows from strength to strength. Welcome everyone, and have a very pleasant day.
Thank you, Professor Wariboka. And finally, for the morning, we're going to hear now from our director of the School of Education, without whose help we really could not get this show off the road, Professor Disraeli Hutton. Please welcome him.
Thank you very much, Chair. Let me express my own delight that the School of Education is presenting the finals of Talk the Poem today. We are reclaiming a special type of mental skills that have been, well, we are losing. I wouldn't want to say we have lost it. We are losing. And so, thanks to my colleague, Dr. Spencer, for this initiative. As you say, you started this 3 years ago, and we are feeling the impact. And this is a very important area that we need to rebuild. And hopefully we can get other institutions to participate at the same level, and we want to hopefully expand these activities beyond the bounds of the School of Education and the University of the West Indies. In fact, I feel popularity of writing and reading poetry has waned over time, and it's timely that attempt is being made now to revive this important skill. As a youngster in all-age school, and I'm from the deep rural area of Jamaica, a place called Hanover, reciting poetry was an important activity, I think, on a Thursday. And it's right across the school. And that principal was serious about poetry. Our parents, even now, those who are still alive, are able to recite the poems they learned in school. And some of us are still surprised. Why is it? What kinds of skills they have so that they're able to retain that information over such a long time. So Claude McKay's poetry, If We Must Die, clearly telling me that as a people we need to be free, we need to be strong, we need to be determined, we need to be proud. So it's really not uttering words. These are important qualities that us as human beings and Jamaicans must seek to inculcate in our lives. So we really have to bring back poetry. Louis Bennett, our local poet, now gone. Dirty Tough, critical piece of poetry, telling us about the struggle of the Jamaican people and our ability with all the challenges to stand firm because we have those qualities. It is clear to me that the poetry is about our history. So if you want to know, when I look at, in fact, I just took some time out this morning about 4 o'clock to look at one or two of these poems. And it's really, you learn about the history of the people of the country. So that is one. What is happening currently? So the poets of today, listen and look at what they write and what they read is about what is happening currently and what are the expectations in the future. It's about expressing our own dreams, desires, how we love, who we love, and what we despise. And that is important too. It's not just the love, but what we despise. Finally, let me say that reading and writing of poetry can help to develop our imagination. And my view is that if we talk about skills and skills that we're not sure about, a skill related to our ability to imagine is important. And I think poetry can help us to go there. Our own inner strength, our self-awareness, self-worth, tolerance. These are qualities that are needed to combat a mean and violent society. So thanks, and I hope the best person emerge as winner. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Hutton. Okay, we're going to go into the swing of things now. So participants, I want you to shake off the nerves. I know you're waiting. You've been waiting for a while. And teachers, if you could just let loose for a minute. We're going to ask the participants to make their way down the stage. At the same time, and I think Tamale will help, right? We're going to invite our judges for the morning. We'll introduce them in a bit to come and be seated on the stage. So finalists, let's go. You'll be introduced by Dr. Chantal Moore, finalists, and Mrs. Claudia McBean will introduce our judges.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We are here only because of the finalists. We saw them across the country of Jamaica. We saw some of them in Manchester at the Church Teachers College. Others we saw at the Western Jamaica campus in St. James. And The final set we saw in Kingston here at the Mona campus. And we have 21 finalists representing from 15 schools across Jamaica. 21 finalists from 15 schools across Jamaica. And they are the reason why we're here. So let's give them a resounding applause, ladies and gentlemen. Already they are winners because they're on the stage. They have done the homework. They have, memorized the poems. They have practiced, and they're ready to display their very best talent. And every participant here this morning is a winner. All right? As you know, we will whittle it down, and we're going to start with round one. Every participant will get a chance to recite his or her poem from the Caribbean anthology. So that's round one. You're going to begin with the Caribbean poem. After lunch, we will have round two, when you will recite your poem from the British anthology. And then for round three, you will choose whichever, whether Caribbean or British. All right? So what you're going to notice today, ladies and gentlemen, is that the participants, as they recite their poems, they're not going to be doing a lot of dramatics, a lot of gesticulation. They're simply going to talk the poem. They're going to speak the poem directly to you so that you understand it from how they are interpreting the poem. And so we are going to just, give them our undivided attention. We're going to support them. Whenever each participant is finished, we cheer them on because we know that they are giving up their best. All right, so I'm going to introduce them now. And as soon as I introduce them, they're going to, just step out front and walk around. They're going to be seated on the benches behind us. Mrs. Clavia McBean will direct them to their seats. All right, so they'll walk to her. So we're going to do it alphabetically. We have Abigail Bryan, and Abigail is from Manchester High School, and Abigail will be reciting I Clench My Fist. We have Michaela Cowan from Manchester High School, and her poem will be Pineapple. Britannia Cunningham is from Ferncourt High School, and she will be reciting The Carpenter's Complaint. Jodian Dyer from About Not Gallimore High School will be sharing I Clench My Fist. Tamia Edwards will be reciting Just Like That, and Tamia is from Campion College. Noel Fox from Immaculate Conception High School will be reciting Coffee Break. Crystalline Golson from Manning School will be sharing Poetry Can Nyan. We also have Angel Gregory from Wolmer's High School for Girls, and she'll be reciting this poem. Deandra Harrison from Arden High School will be reciting I Like to Stay Up Late. From St. George's College, we have Crystal Layla, and Crystal will be reciting Sonny's Letter. We have Tiana Loftus from Frome Technical High School, and Tiana will be sharing New Scholar. Calvin McGrowder from Manning School will be sharing Pearl. Deja McIntosh, Bulmer's High School for Girls. You're going to be reciting I Like to Stay Up Late. Shanika McIntosh, Petersfield High School. You're going to be sharing If I Was a Top-Notch Poet. Kenise McLeod from Knox College. Do Not Stare at Me. Naomi from the Cedar Grove Academy will be sharing Independence. From Fouga Road High School, we have Cassandra Morgan, and Cassandra will be reciting Book of Genesis from Fouga Road High School. Also from Fouga Road High School, we have Yanissa Simpson, and Yanissa will be reciting Sister's Poem. From Manning School, we have Janelle Small, and Janelle's Caribbean poem will be Talk. From Clarendon College, we have Shamoya Smith, and Shamoya will be sharing If I Was a Top-Notch Poet. And also from Fouga Road High School, we have Conrad Williams, who will be sharing with us Granny. So here we have our 21 contestants representing 15 schools across Jamaica, and we know that you are going to blow us away. You are dynamic, you are great. Take your deep breath. Enjoy your moment of fame on the stage. This is your time. Forget about us. Just do your thing. All right? All the very best, and thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm tasked with introducing our most esteemed judges, and I'm briefly going to say a few words about each judge. In the middle, in the delightful blue, we have Professor Beverly Brand. She is one of the stalwarts in language education in Jamaica. The language education policy was derived or produced with her input and her guidance. And she is, of course, one of our content judges this morning. To her right, we have another esteemed professor, Professor Mervyn Morris. He is the first poet laureate of Jamaica. Put your hands together, Professor Morris. And he will also be one of our content judges. Our final content judge is Dr. Velma Pollard, and she, of course, is renowned for her poetry. And growing up in school, some of her poems were some of the things that we had to recite. Even here at university, doing literatures in English, I had to be looking at the work of Dr. Pollard. So I am honored to be meeting you, and I'm thankful that you took the time out to be one of our judges today. Thank you, Dr. Pollard. We move on now to our accuracy judges. We have Mr. Timali Lawrence. He's a student here in the Faculty of Humanities and Education, specifically the School of Education. I will be joining him soon as one of the accuracy judge. And our table is completed by Mrs. Nadine Valentine, who will be our score totalizer, and she's also a member of the executive team of the Taught the Poem competition. So put your hands together for all the judges, please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we will be moving straight into round one. On the stage now, we are going to be calling Abigail Bryan from Manchester High School doing the poem, I Clench My Fist. Just one moment. I forgot to remind our participants, you should know from school and county, but you're going to be looking at the judges. I'm going to ask Dr. Velma Pollard if you could just nod at the student when you are ready to accept the student. So you just look, this is Dr. Pollard here, and just look at Dr. Pollard to know when you are to advance. All right? And as usual, if you forget a line, please remember that your prompter, we're going to ask Mrs. Clavia Mabin, she will prompt you. All right? All the best.
I Clench My Fist by Martin Carter. You come in warships terrible with death. I know your hands are red with Korean blood. I know your finger trembles on a trigger. And yet, I Curse you, stranger khaki-clad British soldier, man in khaki. Careful how you walk. My dead ancestor Akabre is groaning in his grave. At night he wakes and watches with fire in his eyes because you march upon his breast and stomp upon his heart. Although you come in thousands from the sea, although you walk like locusts in the street, although you point your gun straight at my heart, I clench my fist above my head. I sing my song of freedom!
Thank you very much, Abigail. It has begun. Next, we will call forth, also from Manchester High School, Michaelia Cowan, and Michaelia will be performing for us Pineapple. Please welcome.
Pineapple by Olive Senior. With Yama, fruit of the Antilles, we welcome you to our shores, not knowing in your language housewarming meant to take possession of, and host could so easily turn hostage. Oblivious of irony, you now claim our symbol of hospitality as your own? Never suspecting retribution incarnate in that sweet flesh. So you plant pineapples arrayed in peas like battalions, not knowing each headdress of spice is slanted to harness the sun's explosions, and store them within the fruit's thick skin on which, unless you can peel them off quick, penal eyes watch and wait, counting down.
Thank you very much, Michaelia. So I'm going to just use the opportunity quickly to help those of you who are new to the process to understand one of the things that we do as we go through. So we have 3 stages. We have the school stage, we have the county stage, and we also have the final. So there are 3 stages that the competitors will go through. We're going to call now, so I'll just give you snippets as we go along. We're going to call now to the stage from Ferncourt High School, doing the poem The Carpenter's Complaint, Britannia Cunningham. Please welcome.
Carpenter's Complaint by Edward Ball. No, you think that is right, sir? Tell the truth. The man was my friend. I built it. I built the house that him living. And now that him dead, that maga football and son come say him wants a nice job for the coffee. So him give it to Mr. Ben Davis to me. That big belly cuckoo don't name Harris on a chisel. But because he makes big shots, because he make big shot coffee, him coffee must be better than mine. Boy, it's hurt me. It's hurt me for true. Fix my next one, Miss Birdie. That man could have knocked back him once, as you know, sir. I remember the day in the Setzian bar when he drink all down a capsule into the ground, then stand up straight as a plumb line and kill him felt out on him head and walk home cool. Them was Waterbird. Brother, funeral, me sir, that boy turned out a man of him proud. But bless me yes, good enough to build the house that him living, but not good enough to make him coffin. I would have do it for nothing. For nothing. Man was my friend. Damn motherfucker boy. Is university turning fool? I tell you, it burned me for true.
One of the things that we try to do with Talk the Poem is to ensure that teachers aren't choosing poems for students, but that the students get a chance to choose their own poems. And we know the teachers are there to guide, and I think the teachers that we have on board are fabulous teachers, and you will recognize that as you go through the competition. They're the reason, actually, why half of the students enter in the first place, right? They're prodding and their motivation. But you can see from the delivery that the students own their poems. We call on the stage next, or they're already on stage, onto the platform, from Arbuthnot Gallimore High School, doing the poem I Clench My Fist, Jodianne Dyer.
Martin Carter, I clench my fist. You come in worship's terrible with death. I know your hands are red with Korean blood. I know your fingers tremble on a trigger. And yet I curse you, stranger khaki clad. British soldier, man in khaki, careful how you walk. My dead ancestor Akabre is groaning in his grave. At night he wakes and watches with fire in his eyes, because you march upon his breast and stamp upon his heart. Although you come in thousands from the sea, although you walk like locusts in the street, although you point your gun straight at my heart, I clench my fist above my head. I sing my song of freedom.
Thank you very much, Jody. Moving forward still, we have next on the platform, hailing from Campion College, I know I stopped. Did you realize I stopped? Because at each level, she says I did not pronounce her name accurately. So let's go. Tamay! Tamay Edwards. And Tamay's doing the poem Just Like That.
Just Like That by Tanya Shirley. She got up and died. Scraped the tooth bones to the side. Remnants of the stew she stayed up late making on Holy Thursday, so that not a pot would be put on fire come Good Friday morning. She sent up the fork before lifting her plate high in the air, and in one motion stood, bent over, and collected his plate, her breasts dangling low before his eyes. Then she navigated the sharp edge of the table, swooshed her hips just once, and died. Her hips did not complete their sway before she fell, full body to the floor. He, stunned into action, would later remember that he wanted so badly to skip breakfast and partake of her flesh. But she, thinking of her mother reciting verses in the back pew, thought it was sin enough that she was not in God's house. She could not worship at his mouth and soul without the last rites of flesh on flesh, hip against bone, tongue along lip. They parted ways, too. She walked into church that Good Friday morning with death on her mind, sang each hymn louder than even the choir and offbeat bird propped in Sunday manner against the tree by the window. Each week, he forgot pursuits of nectar and women to sit on the highest branch, nose pointed down as if he knew the color of each sin and sinner. She threw the notes out and up, as if Jesus could have been saved by her voice. His open wounds sutured by her bellow. She had to get death out of her throat. This was the first Easter she felt each whip, each nail, each jeer. When they came to get her, 3 of her brothers, eyes on the ground. Grown men looking like boys. A note rolled back down her tongue. She saw her child flying higher and higher. The clouds parting. Saw her greet Jesus on this Good Friday morning.
Thank you very much, Tamay. Next on the scene, this has now become a scene. Next on the scene, we have, hailing from Immaculate Conception High School, doing the poem Coffee Break, Noel Fox.
Coffee Break by Kwame Dawes. It was Christmas time. The balloons needed blowing. And so in the evening, we sat together to blow balloons and tell jokes. And the cool air off the hills made me think of coffee. So I said, coffee would be nice. And he said, yes, coffee would be nice. And smiled as his thin fingers pulls the balloons from the plastic bags. So I went for coffee. And it takes a few minutes to make the coffee. And I did not know if he wanted cow's milk or condensed milk. And when I came out to ask him, he was gone. Just like that. In the time it took me to think, cow's milk or condensed, the balloons sat lightly on his still lap.
Thank you so much, Noel. Up next, from Manning's School, Crystalie Goldson, doing the poem Poetry Kyan Nyam.
Poetry Kyan Nyam by Yasus Afari. No, if the hunter ever tell the story of the hunted, then the hunted would be robbed of its honor and glory. So I and I have to shape our own reality, preserve our own dignity and identity. Now I write my poetry to rewrite history, burn illusions and fantasy, shape and create my own destiny, and create my own reality. Now at the College of Art, Science and Technology, I mix and match dub poetry with Rastafari philosophy, only to disappoint my friends and family. And same time, my girlfriend, Twiggy left me. Twiggy left me. Twiggy left me. So this summer holiday, I decided to go home to mama. I spend in my wallaby gun for trousers. The buckers on Tom, buckers on Tom, buckers on Tom. The neighbor them start to say, but look for Sister Derek, good boy doing. We walk up to mama. Mama say, but look for me, good pitney boy doing. Wonder if education turn it not easier. Then mama turned to me and said, Tony, why you not gonna cut off your locks and go look walk? Really and truly, what you plan to do with yourself? Me said, Mama, I plan to live off double poetry. Mama looked at me and said, boy, you ever hear the poetry can yam? Poetry can yam. Poetry can yam. P, with pineapple, papaya, and pumpkin. Cause they raised me as a real old country bumpkin. O, orange. O to eat apple. E for eggplant. T, the tangerine, tamarind, and tomato. R for radish, raspberry, and rose apple. Y for yam, like St. Vincent, yellow yam, and Messiah. So mama, if you feel disappointed, it's alright. Don't worry. Cause I assure yourself, say, poetry can yam. Poetry can yam. And mama, I still love. So mama turned to me and said, I, so to what now? Wallaby gun for trousers. Me buckers and tam, buckers and tam, buckers and tam. Poetry can yam, 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 poetry can yam.
Believe it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, from Women's Trust High School for Girls, doing the poem, This Poem, please welcome to the platform, Angel Gregory. I think we have a thing with limping and our competitions. If you watched the YouTube for last year, we had to help another limping student. I hope it's not us that's promoting the limping, right? Okay, give it up again for Angel, please.
This poem by Muta Baruka. This poem shall speak of the wretched sea that washed ships to these shores, of mothers crying for their young swallowed up by the sea. This poem shall say nothing new. This poem shall speak of time, time unlimited, time undefined. This poem shall call names, names like Lumumba, Kenyatta, Nkrumah, Hannibal, Kenaton, Malcolm, Garvey, Haile Selassie. This poem is vexed about apartheid, racism, fascism, the Ku Klux Klan riots in Brixton, Atlanta, Jim Jones. This poem is revolting against first world, second world, third world division, man-made decision. This poem is like all the rest. This poem will not be amongst great literary works, will not be recited by poetry enthusiasts, will not be quoted by politicians nor men of religion. These poems, knives, bombs, guns, blood, fire, blazing for freedom, yes. This poem is a drum, a shanty, Mama, Iba, Yoruba, Night, Bingi warriors, Oro Nambaya, Oro Soweto, Oro Africa. This poem will not change things. This poem needs to be changed. This poem is a rebirth of a people, a rising, awakening, understanding. This poem is speaking, have spoken. This poem shall continue even when poets have stopped writing. This poem shall survive you, me. It shall linger in history, in your mind, in time forever. This poem is time, only time will tell. This poem is still not written. This poem has no poet. This poem is just a part of the story. His story, her story, our story. The story is still untold. This poem is not ringing, talking, irritating, making you want to stop it. But this poem will not stop. This poem is long, cannot be short. This poem cannot be tamed, cannot be blamed. The story is still not told in this poem. This poem is old, new. This poem was copied from the Bible, the Prayer Book, Playboy magazine, the NY Times, Reader's Digest, CIA Facts, the KGB Facts. This poem is no secret. This poem shall become boring, stupid, senseless. This poem is what you're trying to make sense of this poem. This poem is messing up your brains, making you want to stop listening to this poem. But you will not stop of listening to this poem, you need to know what we said next in this poem. This poem shall disappoint you, because this poem is to be continued in your mind, in your mind, in your mind, your mind.
Thank you, Angel. All right, we move next to Arden High School. And our contestant is Deandra Harrison. You don't have to say it so attackingly. It's Deandra Harrison. Did I get it right? All right, Deandra Harrison from Arden High School, doing the poem, I Like to Stay Up Late. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you please, when you're exiting, to wait until a participant has completed his or her performance. It's really very distracting. You might not see it as a big thing, but it's a huge difference for them once there is movement or excessive chatter.
I Like to Stay Up Late by Grace Nichols. I like to stay up and to listen when big people talking jumpy stories. I just feel so tingly and excited inside me. But when my mother say, "Girl, time for bed," then is when I just feel a dread. Then is when I just jump into me bed. Then is when I just cover up from me feet to me head. Then is when I just wish I didn't listen to no stupid jumpy story. Then is when I just wish I read me book instead.
Thank you very much, Deandra. All right. Again, because I see the poem that's coming up. Fitzroy, where are you? Because I can't really see much with the light, but I know you're here. Fitzroy, can you stand, please? So, ladies and gentlemen, anybody who was here last time, I won't have to introduce him. But this is our winner from last year's competition, Fitzroy Randall. And he performed the poem that's about to be performed, Sonny's Letter, which is why I remember it immediately. So give it up for Fitzroy. Thank you for being here. So from St. George's College, that's the entourage that you keep hearing on this side of the world. Yeah? From St. George's College, Crystal Layla is going to do the poem for us, Sonny's Letter. Welcome.
Sonny's Letter, 1980, by Linton Kwesi Johnson. Brixton Prison, Jeb Avenue, London, Southwest 2, England. Dear Mama, good day. I hope that when these few lines reach you, they may find you in the best of health. Mama, I really don't know how to tell you this, because I didn't make a solemn promise to take care of little Jim and try my best to look out for him. Mama, I really did try my best. But nonetheless, I'm sorry to tell you, say, poor little Jim gets arrested. It was the middle of the rush hour when everybody just a hustle and a bustle for home for them evening shower. Me and Jim stand up, waiting for the bus, not causing no fuss. When all of a sudden, a policeman pull up. Out jump 3 policemen. The whole of them carrying baton. They walk straight up to me and Jim. One of them hold on to Jim, say him taking him in. Jim time for leg off him, for him do nothing, and him not teeth, not even a button. Jim start to wriggle, the police start to giggle. Mama, make I tell you what them do to Jim. Mama, make I tell you what them do to him. They thump him in the belly and he turn to jelly. They lick him on the back and him rib get pop. Them lick him on the head, but he tooth like leg. They kick him in his seed and it started to bleed. Mama, I just couldn't stand up there and not do nothing. So me juke one in him eye and him started to cry. Me thump him pan him mouth and him started to shout. Me kick him pan him shin and him started to spin. Me thump him pan him chin and him drop pan a bin and crash. And dead. Mama, more policemen come down and beat me to the ground. Them charge him for sus. Them charge me for murder. Mama, don't fret. Don't get depressed and downhearted. Be of good courage. Till I hear from you, I remain your son.
I've been told that St. George's College requires a special big up for their spiritedness. Do you agree?
Yes.
I think they do. I think each year, to be quite frank, whether or not they have a contestant in the finals, and in fact they had a finalist last year, but they always come out in numbers, and they always come out with the beauty of noise. And I mean that sincerely. All right, so next up we have from Frome Technical High School, doing the poem New Scholar, Tiana Lofters.
New Scholar by Louise Bennett. Good morning, teacher. How is you? My name is Sarah Poole. This is for Millie Boy Michael. I'm just bringing my school. In born one rainy day, ma. It was coming on tonight. Ugly baby grew pretty fit, for this one was a sight. In born the week when roof was jacked from tree, it started the year. Is that same month of it big day? But me figure here. We call him me Mikey Jacob Jack. But him right name is Michael Jacob Alexander Black. No treat him rough yet, teacher. Him is a sickly child. As I touch him at the midnight, some people say him why. Take time with him, your teacher. If him rude and start to rave, this beat another boy, and him will frighten and be fear. Enough time when him rude a yard, I won't hear at all. I just beat the bedpost hard, man. And you want to hear Jack bad. So now that you know the ways and not having no fear, that anything we mail him, so I left him in the
Thank you so much, Tiana, for your poem. We're now going to welcome onto the platform Calvin Magroda, and Calvin will be reciting Pearl. Calvin?
Pearl by Olive Sr. Trophy wife, power object, your luster fading from neglect. Pull that rope from around your neck. Don't you want to be free? Come now, break the spell. Let each pearl be, or cast them before swine. What have you to lose? Honor, like the pearl, is already used. Keep a single pearl for contemplation of the kingdom within, or ingest it for melancholy, madness, or other lunar folly. Better yet, count it as a blessing. Save for longevity. Too many lives already lost for this trip.
Thank you, Calvin. Thank you. Indeed, poetry is more than just about the sense. We need to hear the sound so that we can make meaning and get the sense from it. Calvin from Manning School, we're now going to invite Deja McIntosh onto the platform. As you can see, Deja is from Wilma's High School for Girls, and Deja will be reciting I Like to Stay Up Late.
You got this.
I Like to Stay Up Late by Grace Nichols. I like to stay up and listen when big people talking jumpy stories. I just feel so tingly and excited inside me. But when my mother say, girl, time for bed, then is when I just feel a dread. Then is when I just jump into my bed. Then is when I just cover up from my feet to my head. Then is when I just wish I didn't listen to no stupid Jummy story. Then is when I just wish I read my book instead.
Okay, thank you very much, Deja. We're now going to invite Shanika McIntosh to the platform. Shanika is from Petersfield High School, and she will be reciting If I Was a Top-Notch Poet.
If I Was a Top-Notch Poet by Linton Kwesi Johnson. If I was a top-notch poet like Chris Okibo, Derek Walcott, or T.S. Eliot, I would write a poem so damn deep that it's bittersweet, like a precious memory. Make you weep, make you feel incomplete, like when you never leave. And though the feet you conceal, you beg and you plead till you win a reprieve. You're ready for rock steady, but the music done already. Still, in the meantime, with my rhythm, with my rhyme, with my rough bass line, with my own sense of time, goon poets have to step in line. Kabuta lazy might have got a couple thousands, but Mandela for him, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. If I was a top-notch poet, like Camus Brathwaite, Martin Carter, Jane Carter, or Amiri Baraka, I'd write a poem so rude and rootsy and subversive that it made the goon poet tongue white with envy, like a can humble voodoo come in a chant, a old-time calypso or a safe song that get banned from granny right down to grand picking. Each and every one can recite that they want. Still, in the meantime, with my rhythm, with my rhyme, with my rough bass line, with my own sense of time, goon poets have to step in line. Kabuta lazy might have got a couple thousands, but Mandela for him, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. If I was a top-notch poet, like Chikaya Thompson, Nicholas Gillen, or Lana Goodison, I'd write a poem so beautiful that it's simple, like a plain girl with good brains and nice ways, with a sexy disposition and plenty compassion, with a sweet smile and a subtle style. Still, me not go bow and scrape and go on like a apple, peddling up your right parchment of ethnicity, with only a vague fleeting sense of authenticity, like a black Lance Percival in reverse, or even worse, a babbling buffoon will lose him tongue. No sir, not at all. Me got my rhythm, me got my rhyme, me got my rough bass line, me got my own sense of time. Goon poet have to step in line. Kabuta lazy might have got a couple thousands, but Mandela for him, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands.
Thank you very much, Shanika McIntosh from Petersfield High School. Members of the audience, I'm going to ask you please to ensure that your cell phones are on mute. It's really not encouraging for the participants to have prepared so well and for the sounds, to be disturbing them. please, we want to give every one of them an equal opportunity to do very well. All right, so please just put your phones on mute. Thank you. All right, we're going to ask for Kenise McLeod. And Kenise is from Knox College, and she will be sharing Do Not Stare at Me.
Do Not Stare at Me by Martin Carter. Do not stare at me from your window, lady. Do not stare and wonder where I came from. Born in this city was I, lady, hearing the Beatles at 6 o'clock and the noisy clocks in the morning, when your hands rumple the bedsheet and night is locked up the wardrobe. My hands are full of lines, like your breast with veins, lady. So do not stare and wonder where I came from. My hands are full of lines, like your breast with veins, lady. And one must rear, while one must suck up life. Do not stare at me from your window, lady. Stare at the wagon of prisoners. Stare at the hearse passing by your gate. Stare at the slums in the south of the city. Stare hard and reason, lady, where I came from and where I go. My hand is full of lines, like your breast with veins, lady. And one must rear, while one must suck up life.
That was Kenise from Knox College. Do not stare at me. All right, so we're going to now invite Cassandra Morgan, and Cassandra will be reciting Book of Genesis, and Cassandra is from Fogle Road High School.
Book of Genesis by Kai Miller. Suppose there was a book full only of the word let, from whose clipped sounds all things began. Fur and firmament, feather, the first whale. And suppose we could scroll through its pages every day to find and pronounce a let, meant only for us. We would stumble through the streets with open books, eyes crossed from too much reading. We would speak in auto rhymes. The world would echo itself. And still we continue in rounds, saying, let, and let, and let, until even silent dreams had been allowed.
Cassandra from Fogle Road High School, reciting Book of Genesis. We will now hear from Naomi Mohammed, and Naomi is from the Cedar Grove Academy, and Naomi's poem is this poem.
This poem by Muta Faruka. This poem shall speak of the wretched seed that was shipped to these shores, of mothers crying for their young swallowed by the sea. This poem shall say nothing new. This poem shall speak of time, time unlimited, time undefined. This poem shall call names, names like Lumumba, Kenyatta, Nkrumah, Hannibal, Acnington, Malcolm, Garvey, Haile Selassie. This poem is vexed about the apartheid, racism, fascism, the Ku Klux Klan, riots in Brixton, Atlanta, Jim Jones. This poem is revolting against first world, second world, third world division, man-made decisions. This poem is like all the rest. This poem will not be amongst great literary work, will not be recited by poetry enthusiasts, will not be quoted by politicians nor men of religion. This poem is knives, bomb, gun, blood, fire, blazing for freedom, yes. This poem is a drum, Ashanti, Mama, Ibu, Nyabingi warriors, Yuhu Namibia, Yuhu Soweto, Yuhu Africa. This poem will not change things. This poem needs to be changed. This poem is a birth of a people, a rising, awakening, understanding. This poem is speaking, has spoken. This poem shall continue even when poets have stopped writing. This poem shall survive you, me. It shall linger in history, in your mind, in time, forever. This poem is time. Only time will tell. This poem is still not written. This poem has no point. This poem is just a part of the story. His story, her story, our story, the story is still untold. This poem is now ringing, talking, irritating, making you want to stop it, but this poem will not stop. This poem is long, cannot be short. This poem cannot be tamed, cannot be blamed. The story is still not told about this poem. The poem is all new. This poem was copied from the Bible, your prayer book, Playboy magazine, the New York Times, the CIA files, the KGB files. This poem is no secret. This poem is watching you trying to make sense from this poem. This poem is messing up your brains, making you want to stop listening to this poem. But you shall not stop listening to this poem. You need to know what will be said next in this poem. This poem shall disappoint you because this poem is to be continued in your minds, in your minds, in your mind, your mind.
Thank you so much. From the Cedar Grove Academy, Naomi Mohammed, who just recited this poem. We have 4 participants left, and you guys have been wonderful so far. And I know that it is going to continue to be wonderful right through to the end. So we're looking out, we're listening out for the other 4 participants. And so we're going to invite now Yanissa Simpson to come to the platform. And Yanissa will be reciting Sister's poem, and Yanissa is from Fogar Road High School.
Sister's poem by Muta Baruch. Sisters, I feel your pain. It's a shame. Sisters, I feel your pain. Some men is to blame. So you're breathing again, and him gone with him friend. Lord, when it a go end. Yes, I feel your pain. It's a shame. Sisters, I feel your pain. Some men is to blame. You stay at home, him gone go home, left the yard, say him gone abroad. Many years pass, but the love not last. So you're breathing once more, another man sure. Yes, I feel your pain. It's a shame. Sisters, I feel your pain. Some men is to blame. Male and female, he made us all. Together we stand, none shall fall. The burden of life we all must wear. The joy of life we all must share. Yes, I feel your pain. It's a shame. Sisters, I feel your pain. Some men is to blame. Sisters, have no fear. Some of our brothers really do care. The
In a this Armageddon, you have it and strong. I feel your pain. It's a shame. Sisters, I feel your pain. So men is to blame.
Sisters Point, Fogar Road High School. All right, so we're down now to the last three, and we're going to invite Janelle Small to come forward. Janelle is from Manning School, and Janelle will be reciting Talk.
Talk by Kwame Dobbs. No one quarrels here. No one has learned the yell of discontent. Instead, hearing some talk, we learn to grow silent, build a stone of resolve, learn to nod, learn to close in the flame of shame and anger in our hearts, learn to petrify its soul, and the more we quiet our ire, the heavier the stone. This alchemy of concrete in the vein, the sludge of affront, until even that will calcify, and the heart, at last, will stop, unassailable, unmovable, adamant. Find me a man who will stand on a blasted hill and shout. Find me a woman who will break into shouts, who will let loose a river of lament. Find the hold of the spirit. Teach us the tongues of the angry, so that our blood, my pulse, our hearts flow with the warm healing of anger. You, August, have carried in your belly every song of affront your characters have spoken. And maybe you waited too long to hold against the night. But each evening, on some wooden stage, these men and women learn to sing songs lost for centuries, learn the healing of talk, the calming of quarrel, the music of contention, and in this cacophonic chorus, we find the ritual of living.
So Janelle recited Talk. Thank you so much, Janelle. And she is from Manning School. We now want to invite Shamoya Smith to the platform. Go ahead, Shamoya. Shamoya is from Clarendon College, and she will be reciting If I Was a Top-Notch Poet.
If I Was a Top-Notch Poet by Linton Kwesi Johnson. If I was a top-notch poet, like Chris Okigbo, Derek Walcott, or T.S. Eliot, I would write a poem so damn deep that it's bitter, sweet, like a precious memory, may make you weep, may make you feel incomplete. Like when you never leave, and do a defeat you concede, still you beg and you plead, till you want a reprieve, and you're ready to rock steady, but the music done not ready. Still, in the meantime, with me rhythm, with me rhyme, with me rough bass line, with me own sense of time. Own poet have to step in line. Kabuta Lazy might have got couple thousand, but Mandela, for him, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. If I was a top-notch poet, like Camus Brathwaite, Martin Carter, Jane Cortez, or Amiri Baraka, I would write a poem so rude and roozy and subversive that it make the goon poet turn white with envy, like a condumble voodoo woman a chant. A one-time calypso, or a slave song that get band out from Granny right down to Grand Picnic. Each and every one can recite that the one. Still, in the meantime, with me ready, with me rhyme, with me rough, yes, line, with me own sense of time. Good boy, it have to step in line. Kabuta lazy might have got couple thousand. But Mandela, for him, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. If I was a top-notch poet like Chikaya Utamsi, Nicholas Gulen, or Lorna Budisu, I would write a poem so beautiful that it's simple, like a plain bird, with good brains and nice ways, with a sexy disposition and plenty compassion, with a sweet smile and a subtle style. Still, me not go bow and scrape and go on like a ape. Peddling not your passport of ethnicity. We don't get veil pleating it of authenticity. Like a Blacklands First Valley reverse. Or even worse, a babbling buffoon and lose him tongue. No, sir. Not at all. Me got me rhythm. Me got me rhyme. Me got me rough. BS line. Me got me own sense of time. Good boy, you better step in line. Kabuta lazy might have got couple thousand. But Mandela, for him, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands.
I was a top poet from Clarendon College. Thank you so very much. All right, so we now invite Conrad Williams to come forward. Conrad will be reciting Granny, and Conrad is from Fogar Road High School.
Granny by Marvin Morris. When Granny died, I stumbled in and out her place, remembering banana porridge, fumbling her dog-eared Bible, faded bedspread, musty cushions hugging memories of her love. From the overflowing funeral, this fingered program is a talisman I carry everywhere. Love is with me still.
21 finalists, you were all excellent. Can you please stand up? Stand up so that we can give you a round of applause. One more round of applause for them, please. All right, so please be seated. All right, so you've just witnessed and experienced round one, 21 finalists. And as we move into round two after lunch, the number is going to whittle down to how many do you think we'll have when you come back for round two? 10. Wait, that's really hard work trying to figure out 10 from 21. I'm glad that's not my task this afternoon, the judges' task. And remember now that we have the content judges and we have the accuracy judges. So even though the performances might be outstanding, excellent, great, they're going to be penalized for inaccuracies. I know you have your favorites. I know you're, supporting a couple of them. And so we're going to pick 10 from here from the judges' decision to come back on stage for round two. So we're going to pause now for lunch. And because we're trying to catch up time, we're going to return at 12:35. It's a short lunch period, roughly. Can we extend it a bit longer? 12:40? 12:40 is more reasonable. So 12:40, because we want to ensure that the schools that are not near here, they'll make it back home before nightfall. And so we want to be considerate. Participants, we have lunch provided for you, so you're just going to remain on stage and we will work that out. But the others of you, enjoy lunch. I'll see you back here at 12:40. Thank you.
Teachers, please remember to complete and return the question.